In this video, we're going to learn how to create accessible, fillable forms in Adobe Acrobat Pro DC. Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and let's jump into the ring. Now, the very first thing we want to do is start designing our form in Microsoft Word. So we're going to do that now. I'm simply going to open up a blank document, and this is going to be a survey about training from the Accessibility Guide. So let's say a survey for tag training, and let's make that a heading level 1, and we will center that content, and let's put in some information here for what we want to add. We're gonna say first name, or we could say like name, and we can do last comma first. And then I like to use underlines to get that placeholder in there. So we've got our name field, and then let's do an email field, email, and we'll do the underline again. Perfect. And let's enter, this is gonna be a drop-down menu when we take it over to PDF. So let's enter a name of training that you attended. And this is going to be a drop-down. So I'm just going to leave some blank space in there, as we're gonna put a drop-down menu in this spot when we take it over to PDF. And we're gonna say, how would you rate the speaker's training? And let's give a couple of areas, maybe some, these are gonna be check boxes, actually radio buttons. So how would you rate the speaker's training? We could say it was okay, or it was totally awesome. So those are gonna be the two options that we're going to provide. And I'm hitting the tab key to indent them. And then let's see, what else could we do? We can say, would you attend another session by the Accessibility Guide? And we're gonna say, we'll tab it over, yes, and then no. And these are going to be check boxes. I need to go up, and let's say date of training. We're gonna put in a date field for date of training. All right, so we've got regular text boxes, we've got a date field, we've got radio buttons, a drop-down field, and check boxes. And let's go ahead and have them please sign your name. So Acrobat has some other form types we can put in, and one of those is an image field. So we can also say like please upload a screenshot, and that's going to be the file upload section there. All right, I think we have everything we need to make our form, so let's go ahead and save this. We're going to do a file save as, and then let's go ahead and create the PDF. And let's save that. And then we're going to open up our PDF. We're just gonna manually add them. So let's do prepare form. And it looks like it's actually forcing me to walk through this either way. So let's do create form. Okay, and it did put in a couple of options for us. So that's okay. We've got name, we've got email, and then we have our date in here, but it's missing our drop-down list. So I wanna add the drop-down list, and then I need to actually deselect out of the form area and go back into the form area so that I can expand the box out. And then let's go in and add our radio buttons. So I'm going to select the radio button options, and we're gonna put it was okay, it was totally awesome. And then we have our check boxes for yes and no. And then we're going to add a signature field, and then let's add the image fields where we wanna upload our screenshot. Now again, to move these things around, I need to select my little arrow icon from the quick toolbar, so that we can adjust the size of these fields. So let's say I wanted to get our radio buttons lined up correctly. You can actually use the alignment tools built into Adobe Acrobat, or you can set them to have them match the height and width. I'm gonna select these two checkboxes, and we're going to left align. And then I'm going to select all the radio buttons and the checkboxes and choose left align. So now they're all lined up. And the checkboxes are still a little lower than where I want them, so I'm gonna use the arrow keys to move them up. And then let's get our upload area for the image in a slightly larger location, and we're going to move it underneath. All right, let's get out of the prepare form option. So now we have a form set up, but now we need to actually make it accessible. So let's open up our tags panel. We have a heading 1, we've got our name, email, name of training, date of training, and lots of content in here. What we don't have is the tagged form fields. So I like to create a temporary placeholder. I'm going to say placeholder with big letters and just make a blank tag. Then we're gonna select the options button and select find, and I'm going to search for unmarked annotations. And we wanna search the page, and we're going to tag every one of these form fields in our document. and select close. Now the next step is to actually place these form fields where they need to go. And so I need to actually go create placeholders for each one of these form fields. So to do that, I'm going to open up the corresponding P tag. Let's right click, select new tag and create form. Then I'm going to move the object reference into its parent placeholder tag. So now this P tag is looking pretty good. Now we've got some extra stuff in there that we can maybe get out of it so it's not gonna read the blank spaces, but for now we're just gonna leave it. Let's right click, create a new form tag, and then we're going to move our email object reference by clicking and dragging. We then have name of training you attended. This needs to have a parent form tag. And then we need to find our drop down object reference and move that into that location. We have our date of training. This needs a form parent tag. So we're gonna do new form. Let's move the date of training in there. We then have a couple of radio buttons. Now each one of these gets a parent form tag. So I'm right clicking, selecting a new tag and hitting enter on my keyboard. And then I want to move them into the right location to the corresponding parent tag. All right. We're making progress. We've now got our yes and no checkboxes. Each of these also needs a parent form placeholder. We've got checkbox for no. Let's move that into the parent form tag. Checkbox for yes into the parent form tag. And then we've got please sign your name. This needs to be a form parent tag. Let's move the signature field in there. And then our upload area also needs a form parent tag and the object reference. Then I can simply delete that placeholder tag. And it looks like we have some blank paragraph tags. I'm just going to grab those child containers and hit Control and select each one of them. We're then going to right click it and change the tag to an artifact and select OK. Then we could delete those blank P tags out. They just kind of like get in the way. So it's better to delete them out. All right, let's hold our Control key and select the document tag a couple of times, and that will help us collapse all of the content down. We have another blank tag. All right, so there's just one more blank tag. Let's right click it, change tag to artifact and select OK. So we're making some good progress here. So next we need to like fix a couple of the fields. So let's select all tools, prepare a form, and in the drop down, let's right click it and select properties. We don't have any options in here. So under options, we need to enter some values. So name of the training that we want attended. Let's see, we have PDF accessibility. That could be one. We could have Word accessibility. And then I'm also gonna put one in here that's a default one. So it's gonna say, please enter training. And whoops, let's try that again. Please enter training. Hit add, and then I'm going to choose that one. Now we could also allow the user to enter custom text. So that's perfect. And then if we select our general tab, this is where we can enter a tooltip. And we're gonna say name of training you attended. And if we want, which I'm going to do, we can actually set it to be required. However, I didn't indicate that via my text. So this is gonna be a failure on color and meaning alone if we set this to required. So I actually should not set it to required. Let's select close. We need to set the date field. So let's right click our date field, select properties, and under format, we want to choose date, and we're going to choose a type of date to apply to that form field. So if you don't enter in the specific date, it's going to give you a flag. Now, in theory, we should set the rest of our tooltips. So let's check out our first and last name. So this is going to be enter name, and then I'm going to put in parentheses there, last first, and select close. Let's right click email, select properties, and we're gonna say enter your email with a colon, select close. Date of training is perfect. Now let's adjust our radio buttons. So radio buttons are kind of strange. Let's set the tooltips. I'm going to right click it and select properties. Now the tooltip is gonna be the same for the entire group of radio buttons. So we're gonna just repeat the question. How would you rate the speaker's training? That's the tooltip for every option in the group. Then under options, it says choice one. We're going to say it was okay, and then select close. We're going to do the next radio button by right clicking it, selecting properties, and then under choice two, we're gonna say it was totally awesome. And we're gonna make sure that one's checked by default, and then select close. Next, we have checkboxes. Let's right click the checkbox, select properties, and we need to enter in a tooltip. And this is going to be, would you attend another session? And I'm gonna do colon, yes. And then I'm actually gonna copy that answer, and then we're gonna right click the no checkbox, select properties, paste it, and then I'm going to replace the text with no. This is how I like to tooltip my checkboxes. Then we're going to select close. We have a signature field. Let's right click it, select properties, and we're going to say enter your signature. And we're going to choose nothing happens when signed and select close. And then let's check out our image field. We're going to say, please upload a screenshot and select close. All right, let's go back to our tags button. Let's close the prepare a form option. And under our tags, we have a mostly accessible document here. Go us. Now, what I like to do at this point, let's save the file. I actually like to, test it. So let's test it. We've got Jordison Sean. Perfect. Email is sean@theaccessibilityguy.com. Please enter our training, and we can use our arrow keys to navigate and select enter to make a choice. Our date of training, we can also use our arrow keys to make a choice. The speaker's training was just awesome. Now we can move the radio button. Radio button means we could only choose one option of the list. We could do both checkboxes. Honestly, they should probably be radio buttons, but they're fine. And then we could upload a screenshot by selecting the image. We can browse for a photo and choose our option. We then can sign the document. So we can sign it using our digital ID, and there we go. Now, before I do all that, I actually want to delete everything out, and let's make sure that everything is accessible. So we're going to save that file, and let's run the built-in accessibility checker by going to All Tools, Prepare for Accessibility, and let's check for accessibility. Start checking. We've got some issues here. Let's right-click the title and select Fix. We didn't set our metadata earlier, so this is my fault. Survey. We're going to select OK, select Save Again, and then we can launch the PAC 2024 tool for testing. So I've got my document, and we're going to just drag it in here to test. And under the WCAG tab, everything passes. So perfect. This is great. Our document is accessible. So that concludes today's video on how to create an accessible form using Adobe Acrobat Pro DC. If you want to find out how I can help you get accessible, book a meeting with me right now. And I don't know if you knew this, but I have a whole bunch of self-paced courses you can take under my website, or you can join our community on YouTube for exclusive access to other forms of content on this channel. And as always, I could be your champion for inclusion. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.